The Philadelphia Eagles 2025 schedule just dropped, and there's a question swirling among fans. Did the NFL do them dirty? For a team fresh off a Super Bowl victory, the path ahead looks daunting. Many fans are vocal about it, questioning whether the league made things unnecessarily difficult for the defending champions. But before we dive into the details, let's take a step back and really look at what's on the horizon. This isn't just about counting wins and losses. It's about understanding the journey the Eagles are about to undertake. It's about the story of a champion who's been thrown back into the fire to prove themselves all over again. A grueling start for the champs. Week 1 sets the tone. The Eagles kick off their campaign against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. It's not just any game, it's a statement opportunity, and from there, the road only gets tougher. In Week 2, they face the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, a Super Bowl rematch with the added twist of the Chiefs returning from an international game in Brazil. Despite that slight advantage, playing in Kansas City under the lights is no small task. Then it's back home to host the Los Angeles Rams, a team that's proven to be a playoff roadblock before. After that, the heat is on. Literally, a September showdown in Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers, where both the temperature and the stakes are high. In Week 5, they return to Philadelphia to face a revived Denver Broncos squad under Sean Payton's guidance. The Broncos made the playoffs last year for the first time since the Peyton Manning era, and they're eager to build on that success. The Eagles then face a quick turnaround, heading to New Jersey to take on the Giants on Thursday Night Football. If that wasn't enough, Week 7 features a hostile road environment against the Minnesota Vikings, followed by the second meeting with the Giants at home in Week 8. A much-needed mid-season break, the Eagles finally catch their breath with a Week 9 bye, a perfectly timed pause after a grueling opening stretch. This break could be pivotal for the team's long-term endurance. Coming out of the bye, the team travels to Lambeau Field to face the Packers on Monday Night Football. The historic venue, the frigid conditions. It's one of those matchups that always seems bigger than just one game. Then it's back to primetime football with a Sunday night clash against the Detroit Lions. Despite being bounced from the playoffs last season, the Lions are still a formidable opponent. A second battle with the Cowboys follows, this time in Texas. A challenging finish. The Eagles' final stretch is nothing short of brutal. They'll host the Bears on Black Friday before flying to LA to face the Chargers on Monday Night Football. After that, they take on the Raiders at home before heading back on the road against the Commanders on Saturday night. The grand finale, a late-season duel with the Buffalo Bills, followed by another matchup with Washington to close out the regular season. As the reigning champs, the Eagles have a target on their backs, and every team on this schedule will be looking to make a statement. Setting the tone for a repeat. There's no denying it. The 2025 schedule is a gauntlet, but for a team that thrives on adversity, this could be the perfect proving ground. It's one thing to win a championship. It's another to defend it when everyone is gunning for you. The Eagles know what's at stake, and they'll have to be at their best from the start. One thing is clear. This journey will reveal just how resilient the Eagles are. The story of the 2025 season is just beginning, and it's bound to be one wild ride. When the NFL released the 2025 schedule, one thing was clear. The Eagles, as reigning champions, were set up with a challenge. It's no secret that the NFL loves putting top teams in the spotlight, and the Eagles are no exception. Coming off a Super Bowl win, they've been given a daunting path, one that demands resilience and consistency from start to finish. But this shouldn't come as a shock. The Eagles aren't just champions, they're a media phenomenon. Their fan base stretches far beyond Philadelphia, making them one of the most iconic and followed franchises in the NFL. The team's reputation for success, especially since the turn of the century, has made them a consistent ratings juggernaut. So it's no wonder the NFL scheduled them for 6 primetime games, plus a Saturday showdown, effectively positioning the Eagles at the center of the football universe for the 4th consecutive year. The spotlight of success, love them or hate them, people can't look away when the Eagles are on the field. That kind of attention brings primetime matchups and marquee opponents week after week. It's a reward for being the best, but also a test of endurance. While some might see it as the league setting the Eagles up for failure, others will recognize it as a challenge only champions are deemed worthy of facing. For the fourth straight season, the Eagles will play at least 5 primetime games, a testament to their consistency and entertainment value. That number could even climb, given the league's flexibility to flex games later in the season. Since 2000, no team has appeared in more primetime slots except one, a remarkable feat for a franchise that has made winning feel routine. A challenge worth embracing. The Eagles' schedule isn't just tough, it's relentless. There's not a single instance of back-to-back home games, meaning they'll be constantly on the move, unable to settle into the comforts of Lincoln Financial Field for extended periods. That's a grind, both physically and mentally. But for the Eagles, this is another opportunity to prove themselves. After all, they're not just any team. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. Surviving this schedule and emerging as champions again would go down as one of the most remarkable feats in NFL history. As daunting as it sounds, it's also what makes this season thrilling. Fans know they're in for a ride, with the Eagles not just defending their title, but doing it against the league's toughest opponents, all while the nation watches. It's not just football, it's a spectacle, and the Eagles are at the center of it. One would think that winning a Super Bowl might earn you a few scheduling breaks, maybe a pair of consecutive home games to help build some momentum. But for the Philadelphia Eagles, that's not the case in 2025. Despite being the defending champions, they won't have back-to-back home games at any point this season. It's a grueling road ahead for a team that has already proven itself to be the best. The reality is even starker when you look at the numbers. The Eagles have the largest jump in schedule difficulty from 2024 to 2025, based on the combined winning percentage of their opponents from last season. This year's slate ranks as the 4th hardest in the NFL. Out of their 17 games, 11 are against teams that made the playoffs last year. 6 of those matchups are primetime games, and 6 road games are against playoff teams. It's a gauntlet, one that will test every bit of resilience and depth the Eagles have. Navigating the rest advantage. One small consolation: the Eagles have a slight edge in terms of rest. In 5 of their games, they will have a rest advantage over their opponent. Rest advantage may seem like a niche concept, but in today's NFL, it's a significant factor. Teams coming off extended breaks, whether from a bye week or a Thursday night game, often see a slight bump in performance. It's not a guaranteed win, but it can tip the scales. The Eagles' net rest advantage is 4 days, which doesn't seem massive, but is certainly preferable to being in the red. Compare that to the Las Vegas Raiders, who are facing a daunting -19 net rest day disadvantage. The difference between a few extra days to recover and being perpetually short on rest is massive, both physically and mentally. Strategic breaks and the importance of timing. One game to circle on the calendar is Week 7 against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are coming off a full bye, but the Eagles will have a mini bye after playing Thursday night. It's not quite even, but it's manageable. Another interesting matchup will be against the Packers, who come off a bye to face the Carolina Panthers at home. While Green Bay has the full week off, the Eagles can at least find comfort in the fact that their opponent hasn't had complete downtime. In Week 2, the Eagles catch a small break against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles will be coming off a Thursday night game, while the Chiefs will have played on Friday in Brazil. It's not a major advantage, but it's something. A glimmer of light in an otherwise grueling schedule. Proving their mettle for the Eagles, the message is clear: nothing will come easy. Surviving this schedule will require depth, resilience, and flawless execution in high-pressure situations. Repeating as Super Bowl champions is never easy, but doing it with this schedule, it would be a feat for the ages. The Eagles' path to greatness in 2025 is lined with tests. The real question is not whether they can overcome them. It's how they'll rise to the occasion when it matters most. The Philadelphia Eagles' 2025 schedule may look unforgiving at first glance, but not every detail stacks up against them. While it's true they lack back-to-back home games, the schedule does spare them the grueling challenge of 3 consecutive road games. In the NFL, that's a small but crucial victory, especially when every extra day of rest can make a difference. Take, for instance, the early season clash with the Kansas City Chiefs. On paper, the Eagles have just a 1-day rest advantage, but context matters. The Chiefs will be flying back from South America after a Friday night game, while the Eagles will be traveling a significantly shorter distance from Philadelphia. It's the kind of subtle edge that could prove important, even if the raw numbers don't fully capture it. Strategic rest edges. The Eagles also hold slight rest advantages in a few other critical matchups. One of those comes early against the Denver Broncos, a team boasting one of the league's top defenses. With Bo Nix expected to make strides in his second year, it's not a game to take lightly. Any small edge, even in terms of rest, could tip the scales. Week 12 against the Cowboys is another example. The Eagles will have a few extra days to prepare, as Dallas plays on Monday Night Football the week before. Even though the Eagles are on the road, the difference in recovery time might just give them a leg up. Similarly, when the Eagles face the Chargers, they'll be coming off a Black Friday game against the Bears, while the Chargers will have played on Sunday. That extra prep time could make all the difference against Justin Herbert and company. The Tampa Bay Heat trap. One aspect of the schedule that leaves a sour taste, though, is the decision to send the Eagles to Tampa Bay in September. Again, just like last season, Philadelphia will face the Buccaneers in the stifling Florida heat. For a team that trains in the somewhat humid but manageable climate of Philadelphia, stepping into the suffocating Tampa heat, where it feels like 110 to 115 degrees, is a grueling adjustment. It's not just the temperature itself, but the dense, sticky air that wears you down. The ideal scenario? Playing the Bucs in November or December, escaping the cold of Philly for a game in the warmth of Florida. Instead, it's another early season battle in conditions that favor the home team, a measured outlook. Despite the oddities and challenges of the schedule, it would be an overstatement to say the NFL intentionally made life difficult for the Eagles. Yes, it's odd that the reigning champions don't have consecutive home games, but the absence of 3 straight road trips softens the blow. In the grand scheme, the Eagles' 2025 schedule is a blend of calculated breaks and frustrating obstacles. Navigating it successfully will require not just talent, but also a strategic approach to rest and recovery. In the end, it's not about the challenges themselves, but how the Eagles adapt and overcome. The Philadelphia Eagles' 2025 schedule is undeniably challenging, but it's not without its silver linings. One small but notable advantage is that their Thursday night game against the Giants only requires a short bus ride up to MetLife Stadium. Sure, it's still a short week, but when the logistics are this simple, the rest disadvantage doesn't sting as much. However, the stretch against the Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and Washington Commanders looms large. After a Monday night clash with the Packers, the Eagles immediately turn around to face the Commanders at home in Week 18. The timing is rough. Not only is it the second game against Washington in 3 weeks, but it's also the kind of late-season matchup that could determine the NFC East crown, the season's final test. The closing stretch of Washington, Buffalo, and Washington again is not quite as daunting as the notorious gauntlet of 2023, but it's still a significant challenge. The lack of consecutive home games means the Eagles never truly get to settle into a rhythm at Lincoln Financial Field. It's a peculiar scheduling choice, and it's hard to recall another season when the Eagles face such a constant state of flux. Yet there's no overwhelming gauntlet run this year, a small win for a team that's had to navigate brutal stretches in the past. Additionally, the Eagles benefit from playing 1 p.m. Eastern games, matching last year's total. That's great news for fans who relish the traditional game day atmosphere, tailgating in the morning, catching the game, and then having the evening to recover. Travel breaks and rest opportunities. One significant plus is that the Eagles have the 11th shortest travel schedule among NFL teams, actually the shortest in the NFC East. The longest journey? A trip out to LA to face the Chargers. Unlike other teams with multiple West Coast games, the Eagles can appreciate the physical break that comes with fewer long-distance flights. That matters for recovery, especially when every small advantage counts. As for the season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles do hold a slight rest edge. The Chiefs will be returning from Brazil after a Friday night game, a long-haul flight from South America to Kansas City. By contrast, the Eagles only need to travel from Philadelphia. On paper, it's a minor edge, but in reality, that kind of travel fatigue can factor into game day performance. A tough but manageable road ahead. The Eagles' 2025 schedule may not be a cakewalk, but it's manageable with the right mindset and strategic planning. Yes, the absence of back-to-back home games is frustrating, but the lack of consecutive road games balances it out somewhat. Despite the challenges, the Eagles' ability to adapt and stay resilient will define their season. The bottom line, whether or not the NFL deliberately made it harder for the Eagles is up for debate. But this team has faced adversity before, and if they can survive this schedule, it will only further cement their legacy as one of the most resilient teams in the league.